Alright, hello everyone. Just wanted to go over utilizing the Kiss Simple Scalp as well as Trend Lock on ES versus the NQ. Um, as you can see right now, I have all the settings here and everything set up on the NQ. I did connect all my charts, so see the red squares. When I change one, I will end up changing them all. Anyhow, if you haven't seen either strategy or system that you were looking for, you go through the YouTube channel and see which one will suit you best, the simple scalp or the trend line. All right, trend lock. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to switch here to the ES, and you'll see here we're on the ES, and these here should change to the ES as well once we get locked in here. All right, now with the ES, we're going to want to change our range to the 15 range. All right, click OK, and that changes to the 15 range. These don't seem to be wanting to change, so we'll change those manually. All right, yeah, all right. So now we're set up with the ES on all charts. Okay, the strategy works the same regardless if you're on the NQ or the ES, and I'll show you exactly on how this is working here. We're in an uptrend. We look here on the 5 minute. All right. We'll do the simple scalp first. All right. The surge scalp is what we're looking for. So right here, we have a surge. You can see the triangle. I'll pull it out a little bit. All right. So since we have the triangle, we draw a rectangle from there. From there, we come right into touching into the zone. The first candle that pulls out of the zone is the one that we're scalping from. Now from here, since we're doing 15 ticks, 15 ticks would end up giving us, let me do this instead here, make it a little easier. This is set for the 40, but we want to go our 15. It actually has us at 17 ticks, but you can still see our 15 ticks hits either way. All right. So doing it on ES, if you're doing it for the full bar, you're going to be 15 ticks. That's the range is the 15. They're really simple scalps. Okay. Come here. We have another surge here. This one here. Draw a zone. It never comes back into this zone. So there's no trade. Take the zone, move it here. It didn't really pull away on this one. Actually, the surge is right here. There's a surge block. It's right underneath it. All right. Didn't really pull away and come back into the zone. So there's no scalp. We have a scalp here. The 20 EMA is here. So here, once again, it really never pulled away and came out. What you're looking for is even something like this right here. It pulled away out of it and came back in. And there's your simple scalp. All right. Here. And I'll reduce it. 15 ticks. 15 ticks. Catch it right as it's closing. You made your scalp. Okay. Going at 15 ticks. It's what, 3.5 points? It's not bad for the ES. You're doing quite well. All right. So right there, you have two of them that worked out well with doing the simple scalp. So it's basically just doing the same system. Have your 5 minute, your 1 minute, or actually for doing the simple scalp, you want to utilize a higher time frame like the 15 minute. I always like the 1 minute because I want to be on the right side of the short term trend so that you're actually not fighting the market. You're going with the market. Gives you a higher probability on getting your trade completed. All right. So gaps are rather easy when you get the surge. You get the surge symbol, then you take the trade. We had a surge symbol here. This came out of here. You got another surge coming out of this zone. You technically could have taken that one as well. All right. That's basically 2 and 1. If you're looking at your EMAs on the 1 minute, the 15 minute, even if you had the 5 minute there, you're in a good spot. You're above the EMAs and you're good for taking your scalps. Okay. Now for a trend lock, it's the same scenario. We crossed over here, we pulled away, we didn't really hit 8 EMA. But right here, kind of pulled a little bit away once the cross happened with this one, we pulled down. So you would have seen this pulling back down during that was happening, while it was happening. Look at the 5 minute, we crossed over, this pulled in here, 8 EMAs above the 21 on the 5 minute. We just pull straight up and so you guys can see. That's right here. All right. They're right here on this. So pulling above there. The MACD is above the signal line. The 1 minute has the same scenario that we're looking here on the 40. And look at the time. This is on the overnight. All right. With this, we would enter here, follow right behind all the bullish bars. All right. Right to here. And then this actually gets tagged out right there. 14 3/4 points. It took about 4.4 minutes. A little over 1 3/4 minutes. Almost 5 minutes for 14 points on the ES. All right. Come back here. This one right here. As this one's pulling up, this is crossing over here. We're above. Everything looks good. We got a good signal. All right. We're looking at large delta on this one. So we had negative delta with this large delta. All right. Pulled back over. We're a little below here, so the momentum is not fully going in our direction. All right. Came here, and then this is pushing up. Collect in here. Take this to here. 7 3/4 points. All right. It works the same as it does on the NQ on the ES. Coming across here. This one's pulling up right here. Okay. And everything else is looking good, except for the 5 minute MACD. We're below the signal line. So this is actually a no-go. Come to here. We're crossing above. Crossing above. I would probably, since this is pulled back to here, this is already crossed up over here, and we're crossing up on the 5 minute, enter here, tail right below, right below, right below, right below. All right, and 20.5 points. All right, this is on the overnight. So doesn't really matter on time since we're utilizing range charts. All right. See if we're going here. This is showing 9 in the morning. Coming in here. The scalp is right here. One and a half points. All right. And we already went through it. That 3 3/4 points is all the scalp needs to hit from the 15 to the 15 ticks. So that one there makes it. This comes down here, comes back down to here. All right. Now Within utilizing Sunlock, we have the other filters with utilizing the fast and slow MACD. That's up to you if you want to utilize it with the scalp, but it's not really part of the rules that they have. So, we had this here. It pulled away a little bit. That one would have worked. This here came back down. With me, I personally wouldn't be going against the trend. Okay? But hopefully this helps you guys. The 15 works just as well. Look at this here, 2 in the morning. We have a full, complete uptrend. This is here. It actually pulls back down below. We have absorption here, and then we take it from here. All right, you have a ton of opportunity. All right? All right. And then you saw how it works with trend lock. Let's see, we're on a downtrend here. It crossed, didn't really pull back to there till about here. Everything is below except for this is here, so we don't have our signal. Um, this here probably would have been one. Yeah, this here, it's close. It didn't really pull into the ADMA. It tried pulling up here and then came down, but it's further away. All right, this here is actually a good signal here because we came and you can see it closed, touching the ADMA, which is part of the rules. All right. There is a checklist on Discord for the trend lock. Uh, all the rules are the same. So you could utilize the same checklist for ES if you use it on NQ. All right, NQ and ES. The only difference you have is the range amount. You want the 15 range on ES, and you want the 40 range on NQ. I've tried things going smaller just to give you guys a little bit of a reference here. You go like to the 5 range, and you still get good signals, but the trailing is a lot harder, and getting in and out, it's just not the same. All right. You want to have that higher. Look at this, here we're going down, so this would have pulled, but you're only going for, let's see, since you have 5, you only go for a point and a quarter, even a point and a half. Meanwhile, we're just talking about 3 3/4 points. So this, you have a lot more false signals when you're dealing with the smaller time frames. All right. But if you go with the direction of the short-term trend, you have better opportunity. All right. But personally, I'd stick with the 15 range on ES, and I've actually had a lot more success with the 15 range on ES than I have with utilizing any other time frame. And I went from on NQ the 30 range, the 40 range, the 60 range, the 80 range. You do get good trades with the 80 range and the 60. Their stops are larger, and you know the win rate's just about the same. So it doesn't really, the 40 range seemed to be really good there. All right. Hope this helps you all. And any questions, just leave a comment into the video and we can go from there. Do apologize. It is a little late here on Memorial Day weekend, so I am a bit tired at the moment. One other last thing I did want to mention is we have KISS for quite a bit of a reason here, and that is to make sure that we are finding out and seeing what's happening within the market. And KISS makes it a lot easier. When you see in the absorption here, it means, buyers are pushing up, they're getting absorbed, so you have passive sellers right here. All right. And here you see they're pushing now. So sellers are coming and stepping in at this point here. Sellers stepping in. Right here, buyers really tried. They failed. All right. So as the buyers failed here and the sellers are coming through, we're going on an uptrend. You see how this is? This is a real good example here. Sellers are stepping in here again with the surge. All right. Look at the amount of delta. Right. You got 56%, 68 right here. All right. 64% was pushing up here. So they're defending to keep this going and alive. But now, remember order flow. Order flow is based on levels. So you're looking up, you're looking down. These sellers are trying to get it down below this area here where these buyers push this up. They're failing on coming down. What happens at this point right here? These sellers all have their stops pretty much above here because they're trying to get this down. All right. You see they tried stepping in here, and as they're failing, this right here is what I call seller's remorse. And we got up right after that. They kind of kept coming back in, but at this point here, you already made your money. All right. You're taking advantage of what's happening in the market, and you're seeing what's happening in the market. Delta tells you who's coming in, how hard they're coming in, and what's happening. All right. The more you keep an eye as to what's going down here and the signals that you're getting from KISS, the more you're going to understand the rhythm of the market. They're pushing. They're pushing back down. They're not really getting very full. All right. They're surging coming down, but they're not getting full. They're surging again, but they're not getting full. Look at all the selling imbalance right here. Here it is. Right there. That selling imbalance right there. All that pink. Look at how that profile is. High profile here. Strong selling, strong selling. Delta's here. 358 versus all these other numbers. That's a large amount, 7%. So they took over the buyers. The buyers stepped in here. And then you have 56% right here. Strong selling delta. Let it surge. All right. Got a buy signal here because the buyer stepped right back in where they surged in here before. These sellers, a lot of orders, selling orders coming down. A lot of selling orders coming down. Buyers just took it right on over and took the market all the way up to higher highs. All right. See here, they're selling it to bring it back down. We have large amount of absorption, 121 contracts. Buy signal. We have the surge. Now, since you have this surge signal here, you're watching it for to come back. See the surge signal? And we see two value areas right next to each other. That's the area right there, the level that's getting defended. That's the level where the most amount of contracts are getting transacted at. This is the buy sell signal. This right here is where value is. That's where they have an agreed upon price. All right. They never got back down to that price. They tried really hard right here. Negative delta, delta divergence. They pushed out, coming back in from here. It didn't get into this value area. All right. It just tapped and then ran back out. Hit the PLC of the buyers. All right. Hope that helps you guys. But this is one thing I love about KISS. It gives you the information you need to understand the flow of the market and where it's going. You got your selling imbalances. You got your surge, which is showing you the delta surge that's coming down. You have your down here. That's why I have all four of these on. You have your delta volume, your delta contracts, amount of delta you have here, delta percent, and then you have the volume showing you right here. You have strong buying right here. 100% buyers took over 177 on this whole thing, and the buyers were failing right here, the next candle. All right. So when you have a lot of action going in, but little reaction, meaning it's not going anywhere. So you have a large push, but it doesn't go anywhere. Technically, shortly after, you should be getting your reversal. Now it comes back down here. Strong selling, strong selling, strong selling. Down here, still strong selling, but it failed, pushing it back up. All right. Just some basics on order flow. All right. Hope that helps you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.